Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's October 10th. It's Sunday, October 10th, 2021. While working on the calyx, my renal calyx at medullary, I'm having renal capsule pain in my upper or my mid back region. So I'm tying that in my physique, but it's not really a physique, it's more my physical because it's falling apart at the moment. And then the suspension bridge with cables that hold up a platform that are taking on, it feels like the cables aren't as secure as they used to be. Knowing that I watched something this morning on Sunday morning about the port, not Port Authority, but the port system, the first link in the chain of supply, supply something or other. So I equated out, like, this is my rusel of things, and then all of a sudden some of my pieces are missing. Now, I know I've used them, some I've moved up here, some I've put over here, but I know that they're missing because it's inside of my debris cloud. I'm working on fixing it, so I know when things have been moved, I can tell there's been a disturbance. So this reminds me of the shipping containers that I saw, that this one woman was a part of in some way. I don't know her job title, I don't know her job qualifications, I just know she's she's inside of the industry that has close proximity to these shipping containers, and receivership from foreign. Some gentlemen reference them as government. Again, that gets confusing, but I'm breaking that down as well. So there's something called vice, and there's something called time. If I take the two E's out of vice and time, then I get victim. Victim, and I have the two E's over here. Then there's something called government. It's G over men, and there's some unit that they're currently over or hovering, whether it be reflected as a T cross in a circle. That's what pilots, I am told, use to steady themselves when they're taking off or landing. But G-men over, it could also be a crucifix or an X, like X marks the spot, depending on, like, if you're a pilot with, say, a passenger pilot, I think they use the long runway and then a short crossover. So that makes more of a T look. But in other areas, there's X marks the spot with a circle. Some refer to it as chi, whatever. I've heard a lot of different things from humans. In whatever. Unplugged, we'll call it. But this is a really important piece because vice sometimes is referred to as like an overlord, or like an investigative body of some sort, whether it be through journalism, whether it be through powers of persuasion, however that works. And then it oversees, sometimes a victim is created by the vice and the time that they've put in. When they take away the ease, they don't cross-reference with the government being the G over man. But I definitely just wanted to point that out, because again, I know that there's high observation, and then there's the natural world, and then there's some form of, I call it concentric circles, but there's some kind of dotted line and concentric circle system that gives you like a target to then move in on. So with that being said, I'm reporting where I'm in, or I'm within this symbolic gesture with the humans. This is Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And on a repoggle, which is what I call it, but the humans call this a globe in its spherical format. I've heard them refer to it as a globe, Globe, even though there's no bioluminescent or any kind of ambient light coming from it. They still call it a globe, even though it's not, it has nothing to do. The tools that I use, I try to use as little neon light as possible, but there is a distinction between projection screens, where you have a one in minor use of a projector with one light bulb, and then the 35 millimeter film, and putting it onto a screen. There's a big difference, and it was, again, in a puzzle of missing pieces, it was easier to control the news media and the mediation with humans and what's outside of humans in G over men, and then the victims. It was easier to mediate and communicate what the actual needs to keep them safe were, rather than making this like some kind of false narrative where there's some competition that needs to erupt. If people are being victimized and time is elapsing and being stolen from them, and in that time that's been stolen or moved into an EE format causing the victim, then it's also a problem, because how do you protect those people and then re-engage with them to educate them, to let them know that we know why you're being harmed, we know who, we know how. We're trying to go after those, but the way that you've enhanced yourself through the local narrative, it's actually causing more harm to the helpful people trying to work than it is, it's actually causing you greater harm in the long run. I'm star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Again, I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York. It's North America. And it's a Sunday morning. It's October 10th. And the year is 2021. I'm in Alpha Beta. But again, I saw from Tel Aviv's point of view, they have something called Computer Associates. They have one location here in Alphabet, which they call Arab, on a clock system of calligraphy. And then they have one in Tel Aviv, which works off of some other calligraphy system. But they have two offices that look exactly like big glass building with a C and an A on it, in a green and blue. One here, one in Tel Aviv. That was broadcast yesterday, which is interesting in foreign powers and whatever.